All right, so for the next part, I have my sky, I have my ground. I want to get rid of the dark outline on my ground, so I'm going to go up here and make that transparent. All right, so now I just have a nice green um, line dividing my sky from my ground. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to put in the moon. So I'm going to insert a shape. So I'm going to insert shapes. I'm just going to pick a circle. I'm going to make this. I forgot to hold shift. And this is going to be kind of like the outer glow of the moon. So I'm going to pick a color that's pretty close to my sky color. So something like a shade lighter. That's a little dark. I think that looks good. And then going to make sure that's highlighted. Get rid of my border. Okay, and then I'm going to insert another circle. So insert shape. All right, same thing. We're going to hold down the shift key. Now these don't have to be perfectly centered. As you see, those little red guidelines show up when it is. I think for the moon, it can be a little bit, off and still be okay. You want it to be like pretty much centered, but I don't think it has to be perfect. It kind of ends up looking more like a little bit of a glow. All right, and then I'm going to go to the next shade of blue. So I had this shade right here, so I'm going to go up one for my next shade. And you should see the difference. And I want to get rid of that border. All right, and I'm just going to keep inserting and adding circles until I get to my final one. Which should have the white. I think I'm going to do one more blue circle and then the white. And that'll be the moon itself. Actually, I think I'll make this one the white. I don't want it to be too small. So I'm just going to fill that with white. So that's kind of like your glowing moon. And you can see what I mean, like they're not all perfectly centered, but I think that kind of is a little bit more playful and more interesting than having, something that's perfectly aligned like a bullseye. We don't want it to look like a bullseye. You want it to look like a moon with this like idea of glowing coming, radiating out of the moon. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to draw my trees. So I'm going to go to the polyline tool again. I'm going to actually do this on the side. This space on the side is kind of like a workboard, and you can bring things into your drawing after you draw them on the side. And this way you can kind of play with it a little bit more without worrying about messing up anything on your drawing that you want to maintain. So I'm going to start to draw my tree. I'm just going to go straight up, click, and then just kind of make these like stick-like fingers, like really sharp. And like kind of irregular, like a leafless tree. Let's try that again because I didn't want to cross over. You don't want to cross over because we're going to be coloring this, so I want to just keep it one solid shape. Should line. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to color this black. All right, and then the next part I will tell you about how to start to insert your trees and your shadows.